Good afternoon. Good afternoon. कितना टाइम हो गया? कितना? 20 मिनट से लिख रहे हो? दो गिव इट। यहाँ पे टाइमर क्यों नहीं चलाते हो क्वेश्चन देते ही? टाइमर साथ में। गुड, बट इसे और पॉइंट फॉर्मेट में बनाएंगे, है ना? यू हैव टू राइट इट इन प्रॉपरली पॉइंट फॉर्मेट एंड हेडिंग्स. गुड. Why do you? कमल, कमल कहाँ है? उस कमल. एवोल्यूशन के क्रिटिसिज्म लिखोगे ना आप? पुरुष के क्यों लिखोगे? क्वेश्चन एवोल्यूशन पे, तो एवोल्यूशन के लिखोगे या प्रकृति के क्रिटिसिज्म लिखोगे? Why will you write the criticism? And the diagrams and flowcharts have been given to you, not to waste pages, just to understand. And if you have to make it in a very small area, because where will you write all other points? है ना? Okay. Quick. Online बच्चों का लो फटाफट. देखो, if you explain this much evolution, you will not be able to explain the implication of that evolution, and there will be no space for criticism. Will you write this much criticism only? Criticism will give you marks. इतनी मोटी मोटी किताबें. किसकी किताब है ये? What is your name? Shivani. Not revised? So you started good, but you know you need to put in more information and finish it, because you have to tell all the evolution and then the criticism. ये वापस करो सब बच्चों के एक-एक करके. Good way of presentation, Satyam. हाँ, good way of presentation, but थोड़ा ज्यादा चैट चैट हो गया है ना? थोड़ा इसको word format. But good. But incomplete. Where is the rest? Priyal. क्वेश्चन किस पे है? प्रकृति। सेकंड पैराग्राफ ये हमने क्यों लिखा है? पुरुष इज द प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस वेयर एज प्रकृति इज द मटेरियल कॉज प्रकृति। अच्छा, उसको तुमने पुरुष से क्यों स्टार्ट किया? पर देखो देखो, दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन एग्जामिनर रीड्स फास्ट, द वे यू प्रेजेंट योर इंफॉर्मेशन, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। फर्स्ट लाइन मैंने फर्स्ट वर्ड देखा, पुरुष इज द प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस। पहला परसेप्शन क्या बना? व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट आइडिया दैट यू गेट, that she has written about? Well, after second line you picked it up, you made it correct, but when you are checking hundreds of copies per day, nobody is going to read. You have to see that which information to put in what format. Incomplete but good attempt. See, nice presentation, good handwriting. Pranati, very good. अभी तक किसी कॉपी में मुझे ये एग्जाम्पल्स नहीं दिखाई दिए। द लेम एंड द मैग्नेट एंड द आयरन लिखे थे? अरे तुम्हारा आंसर मैंने बोला था अच्छा है, पर प्रॉपर हाईलाइटेड नहीं दिखाई दिए थे। वेरी गुड, गुड गुड बेटा, बट यू हैव नॉट रिटन लिबरेशन, आई थिंक। लिखा है? एक छुपा के हाईलाइटेड लिखो। किसकी कॉपी है ये? नाम साथ में बता के बताया करो। नेम? हाँ, आकांक्षा। बेटा तुम लोग अपनी कॉपियों पे नाम नहीं लिखते? गुड, बट यहाँ पे थोड़ा और एक्सप्लेनेशन आना चाहिए। सी दिस, good handwriting and presentation, isn't it good? And then criticism, तुम्हारी क्लासमेट की आयुषी। अच्छा, इतनी मोटी किताब, इतना लिखवा दिया क्या मैंने? हाँ नहीं, वो तो लिखना ही चाहिए, बट इतने नोट्स दे दिए मैंने सच में? रजिस्टर भर गया? वेरी गुड, you have done comparison also, है ना? Very good, good. निकिता, ओके, गुड। सब लोग अच्छा लिख पा रहे हैं, आई एम हैप्पी। डोंट वेस्ट लॉट ऑफ स्पेस, है ना? यूटिलाइज, ये सब आपके यूटिलाइजेशन के लिए है। गुड। शुभ्रा, शुभ्रा कहाँ है? अच्छा, इधर से इधर कैसे आ गए? इनकम्प्लीट, क्रिटिसिज्म क्यों नहीं लिखा? और एवोल्यूशन भी, एवोल्यूशन की टीलियोलॉजी भी नहीं लिखी, दर्शनार्थम केवल्यार्थम। क्या नाम, नाम क्या है? ये श्वेता लिखा है? ओके, एवोल्यूशन ऑफ जगत, Incomplete. Why? Incomplete क्यों? Incomplete answers क्यों लिख रहे हो भाई? टाइम नहीं था लिखने का? हर्षदीप. Okay. Incomplete. Saloni. एवोल्यूशन क्यों नहीं बताया? हाँ, एवोल्यूशन लिखा हुआ ही बाद में देखा, ऐसा क्यों? Not reading the question properly. Big blunder. But वैसे अच्छा लिखा था. आशुतोष. Good. भरत. अगर तुम लोग इसी तरह से अच्छी आंसर राइटिंग की प्रैक्टिस करोगे, many of you can get selected this year itself. मतलब of course, if you can clear prelims. Good. David. गुड डेविड है ना, प्रॉपर हेडिंग्स के साथ लिखा है. गुड. क्रिटिसिज्म थोड़े और नहीं होने चाहिए? 2-4. अच्छा, बड़ा अच्छा लिखा है. किसकी हैंड राइटिंग है ये? पर तुम्हारी पहले से बेहतर हुई है, सोचो मैं पहचान नहीं पाई, है ना? You have improved on your handwriting that now I can not I was not able to make out कि अक्षत ने लिखा है. Okay, good. ये दोनों ले जाओ, दोनों. Who is it? Shazan. You have to maintain the straight lines, है ना? Try writing. So you are writing good. Your handwriting is big. It's fine, but make it a little smaller. Why? Because if this much handwriting, your handwriting will be big, you will not be able to put in a lot of content. Second, write in straight lines. Good. But if you can also write that chart, flow chart, it would have been better. देखो ये होती है क्लास, ये होती है कॉपी. किसकी है ये? वेरी गुड. अब इसको देख के इंसान का मन करता है पढ़ने का. दिख रहा है? आई डोंट नो इफ ऑनलाइन बच्चों को दिख रहा है, नहीं दिख रहा है. इफ यू कैन सी और नॉट. Good. It you know, I feel like reading this answer. Good. Incomplete. But really nice presentation. If you can, and you have written good content. A little effort from your side of completing paper you can get very good score. ऑनलाइन जल्दी जल्दी खोलो, जल्दी जल्दी खोलो. अरे दे जाता है बच्चा. सांख्य अच्छे से हो गया. योगा हमें समझ में आ गया था. टुडे वी विल राइट योगा. आशुतोष. क्या? अतुल. Everybody, attention here. Check with me. साम्य अवस्था, दर्शनार्थम, पुरुष. क्या प्रॉब्लम है? Purush was not directly asked, so you don't make a separate heading out of it. Next. Gonushobh, very good. है ना, यहाँ पे ही लिख देना चाहिए था. यहाँ पे एक और बनाते हैं ना, विषम अवस्था, प्रलय अवस्था, सब यही पे बना दो. Why to waste so much space and time? Equilibrium, साथ, but no flow chart. Evolution तो नहीं बताया. बताना चाहिए था, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन किस पे, which the question is directly on prakriti, and so evolution chart should be there, maybe in a very short format. You don't elaborate 5 senses, but at least you write 5 senses. It doesn't take a lot of space and time. Next. Yes, incomplete. क्या हुआ? फर्स्ट पेज कहाँ है इसका? ये फर्स्ट पेज नहीं है, ये सेकंड है. अरे भाई, तो बड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सा हो गया ना. रुको. It's okay. Good handwriting. Very good. Clear? ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Next. Good. बच्चों, ऑनलाइन वाले students, there are numerous apps. I don't want to name any particular app, but there are various apps. Try to use Indian made like Kagaz or any other you find. So you can directly click pictures and convert it into a PDF, one single PDF, and share that one single PDF. And it doesn't take more than 25 to 30 seconds in sharing that PDF. You can also put a name to it, your name and the topic, so that you also have a complete record at the end of the year. If you just want to revise your answers, you just go back and see your answers. Don't post these random pictures. Disproportionate gunas, is it the right term? No. Okay. Evolution part could be improved. ठीक है, ठीक है. Next. चलो. Yes. Okay. Let us start with yoga. Yoga philosophy. हाँ दे दो, राइट। योग फिलॉसफी, योग फिलॉसफी Yoga philosophy is the orthodox, realist, theistic, लिखना है हाँ, orthodox, realist, theistic school of philosophy, which is a parallel, and complementary, school to Sankhya philosophy. Parallel and complementary school to Sankhya philosophy. Next point or line. The founder of this school is Patanjali. Founder of this school is Patanjali, या Rishi Patanjali. Who wrote Patanjali Sutra. Patanjali Sutra. Full stop. Later Rishi Vyas wrote commentary on Yoga Sutra. मतलब पतंजलि सूत्र को योग सूत्र भी कहते हैं, है ना, चाहो तो लिख लो पतंजलि सूत्र एंड योग सूत्र. Vyas wrote commentary on Yoga Sutra called Yog Bhashya, और व्यास भाष्य, बहुत सारी बुक्स के नाम है, सबके नहीं लिखवा रही, है ना, इतने से काम चल जाएगा. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. इन पतंजलि सूत्र there are 4 padas. पद मतलब chapters. In Patanjali Sutra there are 4 padas. Number 1, Samadhi pad. Samadhi pad. इसके अंदर क्या क्या लिखा हुआ है? नेचर, एम एंड फॉर्म्स ऑफ योग. नेचर, एम एंड फॉर्म्स ऑफ योगा. बी, मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ चित्त. मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ चित्त. मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ चित्त. ऐसे भी लिखते हैं, ऐसे भी लिखते हैं, ठीक है. Modification of Chit and different methods of yoga. Second is sadhana pad. A, kriya योग as means of attaining samadhi. इसमें क्या क्या लिखा है साधना पद में? Details about kriya योग, samadhi, kaleshas, कर्म फल, full stop, comma, suffering, causes of suffering, cessation of suffering and means of suffering, removal of suffering. Suffering causes cessation and means of removal of suffering. Third is Vibhuti Pad. Vibhuti Pad. Internal aspects of yoga. Internal aspects of yoga. Supernatural powers, etc. Supernatural powers acquired during yoga. Acquired during yoga, etc. Last is Kaivalya Pad. Kaivalya Pad, nature and forms of liberation. Nature and forms of liberation. Reality of Purush or transcendent self. Nature and forms of liberation. Nature and forms of liberation, comma, reality of Purush or transcendent self, etc. Fine. How many of you are not able to catch up? Everybody can write at this speed? No problem? Perfect. Very good. Take it. Now we have discussed. Tell me what are the commonalities or similarities between Sankhya and Yoga. Metaphysics is same, nearly, yes. Epistemology is also same. So Sankhya believes in perception, inference, and verbal testimony. They also believe in the same. What else? वो तो similarity नहीं हुआ. और तो similarity नहीं हुआ ना. What else? Evolution, same. Concept of Purush, Prakriti, everything is same. Same. Fourth, bondage same. Fifth, liberation same. Even means of liberation same. Discriminative knowledge, everything same. What is different? God. A new element that was introduced was God. What else? This was theoretical. Matlab Sankhya is theoretical only, but yoga is theoretical plus practical. More focus is on practically understanding how we can achieve it, what to do to achieve liberation. The means properly have been explained. Anything else which is different? फिर भी सोचो. Here the concept of, there it is Mahat, Ahankar and Mans, Antahkaran. But here it has been combined into creating a kind of a psychology which Yoga calls as Chit. ठीक है? So if the question is differentiate between Sankhya and Yoga, या फिर compare and contrast, or the question is what are the similarities and differences, you can write. लिख लो अपने आप, लिखो अपने अपने नोट्स में फटाफट. Quickly. अमन ने क्या डाउट्स पूछे दिखाओ. एक सेकंड. Where does consciousness goes after liberation, or it simply disappears like Buddhist? So there is no disappearance, and consciousness doesn't go. It is always in the Purusha, and it is in the Purusha only after liberation also. So just as if moon is getting reflected on waves, if the waves become, what do you say, calm, there is no more reflection. So where does the reflection go? Where does the reflection go? Does it go anywhere? No, it's just not there. And does it affect moon in any way? No, because moon was always on the top, undisturbed, calm, composed, and lighting and illuminating. So moon को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. So we, according to Sankhya and Yoga philosophy, we are naturally Purush only. And we just, when we realize our own nature, we stop being reflected in the Prakriti, just. If liberation is beyond gunas, how can there be suffering after? There is no suffering after liberation. There is no suffering and no pleasure even. We discussed, right, that liberation in Sankhya philosophy is neutral. No pain, no pleasure, not even bliss. Nothing. Neutral. Neutral consciousness only. Okay, next. Yog. Yog. Yog in yoga philosophy. Yog in yoga philosophy does not mean union of lower self to any higher self, does not mean union of lower self with higher self, or union of man and God, or union of man and God. Rather, अगली लाइन में जो डेफिनेशन है प्रॉपर योग की, योग मीन्स, या फिर योग इज अ स्पिरिचुअल एफर्ट. योग इज अ स्पिरिचुअल एफर्ट to attain perfection through. Yoga is a spiritual effort to attain perfection through the control of body, senses, and mind. Through the control of body, senses, and mind, and through right discrimination between Purush and Prakriti. Purush and Prakriti. Full stop. It is simply defined as चित्त वृत्ति निरोध. चित्त वृत्ति निरोध. or cessation of the modification of the chit. Nirodh means to stop something. Cessation. Vritti means modification. Chit means chit. Or cessation of the modification of the chit. Full stop. This cessation through meditation and discipline. This cessation through meditation and discipline is also called yoga. Bracket में लिख लो process. This cessation through meditation and discipline is also called yoga. In bracket you write process. leading to the final liberation, or cessation of modification, also known as yog. Cessation of modification, also known as yog. Bracket you write ultimate aim. Therefore, both means and end are called yog. Therefore, both means and end are called yog. अब डेफिनेशन बहुत बड़ी है, इतनी बड़ी नहीं है। असलियत में सिर्फ और सिर्फ क्या है योग का मतलब? What is the meaning of योग? Cessation of modification, चित्त वृत्ति निरोध. It is both the process and the ultimate end also. So the process itself is also known as yog, and when you reach it, it is also known as yog. Clear? So what is yog in yog philosophy? Chitta vritti nirodh, in simple terms. Okay. Next. यूनियन है ही नहीं यहाँ पे। मैंने पहली लाइन हम लोगों ने यही लिखी है, योग in योग philosophy do not mean any, it's not union. Its meaning is chitta vritti nirodh. Simple. Clear? The word yog, now you are confused because yog is generally meaning union. It's not that yog. It's वो समयोग वाला समयोग जो प्रकृति और पुरुष वाली फिलॉसफी से निकल के आता है। तो हमको इस बात पे बिल्कुल क्लियर होना चाहिए। जीएस में भी पूछा जा सकता है और पूछा जाना चाहिए। Isn't it? What is the meaning of yog in योग philosophy? Simple. बस फिलॉसफी वाले बच्चे ठीक कर पाएंगे। ठीक है। Okay, so now you have got this thing. You have got this. See, so first is the understanding of yog. सब same है. So if the process of evolution is asked in yog, what will you write? You will explain it. है ना? You will not just write similar to Sankhya. You will also explain it. ये ऐसा मत करना. If supposedly the concept of Prakriti and Purush are asked in the context of Yoga, then what will you write? Same. मतलब same नहीं लिखोगे, वो लिखोगे जो सांख्य और योग में. ठीक है? We don't need to repeat those notes. Generally, such questions are not asked. The questions are asked only in the tune of what things are different from Sankhya. Next topic that we will be studying within this is Chitta Bhumi. So Chit is that internal thing that we have. So after Prakriti, so Prakriti evolves into Chit, and this Chit is having the dominance of Sattva Gun. Therefore, it is very subtle, and because of its subtleness, it is able to reflect Purush. So Purush gets reflected in the Chit, and Chit is the knower. ये unconscious है पहली चीज. जो चित है अपने आप में क्या है? Unconscious. It starts appearing conscious only because of reflection of Chit. So when we see something, supposedly I am looking at this pen, what happens? My sense organs come in contact with this thing, and then my mind or man gets associated with, my attention goes to it. And when the attention goes to it, the chit takes its form. So whatever we are seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, all those things are actually modifying our chit. These are like ripples on water. So more and more things you sense, more and more your chit gets ruffled up. More and more it gets ruffled up. एकदम बहुत जितना तेज, बहुत तेज music, chit is ruffling up. And when this ruffling up is going on, it's not shant or it's not calm and composed. Therefore, our chit, will it have any time? Will it have any means to know that it is separate from Purush itself? Is there any way to know? No. We are so busy in sensing things. All the time we are looking at things outside. The moment you see something, the chit gets modified. There are modifications of chit. You hear something, modifications of the chit. You feel something, modification of chit. Yes, chit is material. Chit is material in nature. It is the evolute of Prakriti. But only because it has predominance of Sattva and it is subtle in nature. Subtle means बहुत झीना है, बहुत fine है. It's very fine. That is why Purush is able to get reflected in this chit. And the moment the Purush gets reflected, the Purush, the reflection itself, starts getting associated with the modifications of the chit. So now this reflection, which is in itself a consciousness, starts feeling कि मैं देख रहा हूं. The consciousness starts feeling it's I which is looking at things. It is I who is getting knowledge. It is I who is feeling this pain. It is I who is feeling this pleasure. But does the reflection feel anything? Is the reflection knowing anything? No. Actually, it is only because of this reflection. It's just like when we look at the mirror. It is like if the image starts thinking that I am the one which is making everything move. But can the reflection move anything? So when this reflection of ours, this reflection of Purush, it starts acting as if it is the mover, doer, thinker, everything, it starts believing in such manner. Tabhi to ego aa jati hai. That is why the first evolute was Mahat, second was Ahankar, the ego. The ego. This ego and Ahankar, or this ego or Mahat, are same in Chit. So the Chit starts getting modified. And if a person has to gain knowledge, true knowledge is what? Discrimination between Purush and Prakriti. What do you have to do? What do you have to do if the water is very windy, if there is a lot of winds and there are a lot of waves and ripples in water, is the water muddy or clear? It's more muddy. And in the muddy water, can you see clearly? No. For water to be clear, what is required? Stabilize. There is an old story. Once Buddha, so Buddha used to, reside on the sides of the forests and rivers with his shishya. So once his shishya was asking, his disciples were asking, Buddha, why do we require peace? Why do we require to be calm for meditation or finding, ultimate reality? Very pertinent question. Why? Why can't we do it when we are in a loud music? Or why can't we do it while doing something else? Why do we require to withdraw from all these things? So he sent his student or disciple. He said, go fetch some water from the nearby river. And just before that, some people have walked through the river. Some carriages have passed. So the water of the river was muddy, very muddy. So the student came back. It's a very bad water, full of mud. No one can drink it. So Buddha says, now again go back. Until the time he went back, the mud has settled and now the water was clear. He brought back the water. So this is the lesson the disciple learned, that if we are stable, calm and peaceful, only then we can see through reality, or only then we can see through truth. Similar is the case with yoga philosophy. Only when the modifications stop and the person starts meditating over the reality of Chit. What is Chit? And then he or she realizes, oh, Chit is also material. What am I then? Purush. The seer, the passive one, the immortal one, the eternal one. And the moment that person realizes its own reality, realizes its own characteristics, will this person ever again be suffering pain? If something happens in family, friends, if your girlfriend goes away or boyfriend goes away, will they be sad? Why won't they be sad? They know the difference. They know it is not me, because I am the ultimate reality, the Purush. It is only because this consciousness is getting associated with the Prakriti. It is only all the changes that I am seeing, all the modifications that I am having are just chittavrittis, nothing more than that. Only ripples on the water. And the moment it will settle. Last time when you were very, very sad, when was it? Huh? Before philosophy classes. So remember that. Is it the same now? Is it the same pain? What has changed? The fact which made you sad, has it changed? The fact hasn't changed? Then why are you less sad? It has passed. So things pass. Similarly, the modifications, if you let them calm, you concentrate, you become peaceful, the modifications will slow down. And then there will come a time when they will completely stop. And when they will stop, only then a person will be able to differentiate between self and non-self. Only then they will be able to differentiate between Purusha and Prakriti. Apart from consciousness, everything else is Prakriti. And if you realize you are just the consciousness, you are not the body, you are not the senses, you are not the thoughts, you are not this, you are not that, everything else is just Prakriti. And if you realize your own self as just pure consciousness, no more suffering. Of course, no more pleasure also. No more suffering and no more pleasure. Clear? चित्त को शांत करना पड़ेगा. Yes. Chit is not soul. Soul is Purush only. है ना? Chit is the material product of Prakriti, which is predominantly of Sattva. And because it is very subtle, it is able to reflect consciousness or Purush within itself. Ahankar is the ego. Huh? So all your problems in life start because of this notion of I. When you start understanding that I am separate from all the other things, you get that identity. देखो, नहीं तो मेरा है. नहीं, कुछ महंगी चीज दो ना, फोन दो अपना, मतलब घड़ी दो. एक्सपेंसिव वॉच लो. क्यों दुख हुआ तुम्हें? नहीं परमानेंटली दे दूंगी मैं। हाँ, वो बेशर्म है, सच में रख लेंगे। So why do you feel that this is yours and why others don't feel it? Why? Attachment. You have this notion of I, that I. First you have this notion of I, then everything associated with you, you brand it as mine. Mine, 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 mine. So only when you or your things get affected, only then it makes any difference, positive or negative. Each year, how many people become civil servants? 700, 800, 910 बनते ही ना, 900 के around तो बन ही जाते हैं. Why is your mother not happy each year? Why aren't they celebrating? Because it's not hers, her son or her daughter. So this notion of my and mine is the root cause of all the attachments that we have. And this notion in itself is very important feature of ignorance. It is only because we have this I that ignorance starts. You start becoming embroiled in this world of objects. So physical pain is where? In the body. According to Yoga and Sankhya philosophy, consciousness is not feeling any pain. It is appearing to be in pain because actually it is only the reflection thing, na? But the real Purusha is trans. हाँ, I know you might be feeling अच्छा दर्द तो हमें होता है. But it is only the reflected consciousness that we are, and the reflected consciousness is undergoing or is appearing to undergo changes. But actually the real moon, the real Purush is not getting affected. It's only the reflection that is getting affected. Understand like this: if I keep a water here and the color of water is red, and now the moon gets reflected here, what is the color of reflection? What the real moon is? Does it make any difference? If I put purple water, orange water, yellow water, the moon's color will differ, the reflection color will differ, but the original color of the moon, does it get affected by any way? So it is just the reflected consciousness which appears to undergo change. But in actuality, we are the original nature of us is Purush, the original consciousness. Because reflection kiski hai? So the moment we realize our true nature, the differences we see, the afflictions we see, the pain, pleasure, all of these things. Pain and pleasure again is, how many people are under pain right now? Many. But why are you not crying? I. That I is the starting point. Ahankar.
Differentiation between conscious and unconscious, or difference between every consciousness? क्योंकि मैम मेरा consciousness अलग है, इनका consciousness अलग है, या फिर मेरा consciousness और unconscious के बीच में relation?
All are just reflected consciousness. All are. And all are reflected consciousness of which thing? The same thing, the Purush. I told you, na, this will become more clear after we do Vedanta. The confusion you are having right now, that we are the reflected one, then why are we feeling pain? But how can we be the Purush? Right, na? I understand. This will get corrected by Vedanta.
सारी कॉन्शियसनेस को पेन होगा तो दूसरे को भी पेन होगा, सबको पेन होगा तो
उसको क्यों होगा? वो तो ऊपर है. Okay, understand like this. If moon is getting reflected in many waves, है ना? You go and start hitting reflections, है ना? You want to kill moon, है ना? You go out and in ocean you start hitting the reflections. Does it affect the moon in any way? तुम reflections को तोड़ो, मोड़ो, मरोड़ो. It doesn't matter because it's just a reflection. Realistic means things are real. The evolution of Prakriti is real. The Chit, inspired by or illuminated by, the correct word is illuminated by consciousness or Purush, starts to behave as if it is part of this material world. So it is only a reflection, but it starts behaving as an individual, as a complete individual and part of Prakriti. It starts behaving as if this worldly things are his. But in actuality, he or she itself is only a reflection. Matter, Pain is a feeling first. Change in matter is real. Whether it is painful or pleasure, we don't know. You know, there is this concept of, I think, masochists. There is a term. There are people who feel pleasure on getting inflicted with pain. There are people who keep cutting themselves because they get a pleasure out of it. अब इसके अंदर तुम पेन थोड़ा ना फिक्स कर पाओगे, है ना? Pleasure or pain, we don't know. We have to be scientifically very correct when we make statements. Ma'am, so the illusion of consciousness should be part of Prakriti since it is nothing but a reflection and not a conscious. No, beta. Aman, we have to understand that the reflection is of what? Purush. That is why it is conscious. All other things are Prakriti. Same way the Chit is reflection of consciousness. Yes, all gunas, aham, bhav are wavering in Chit, means they are part of it. Yes. Niche karo. Transcendental consciousness is pure and reflected consciousness is not pure. We will never make such statements. Hai na? Why, Vikas? Because transcendental consciousness is pure. The reflection is also pure, but because of ignorance, it gets associated with Prakriti and becomes impure. Vanshika, due to my busy schedule, I am finding it challenging to write notes during class. I listen classes at 2x again. During traveling to consolidate, would it be possible to access the written PDF like before? It is easier for me also, but I have started to dictate because you people, I think in your answer writing, you people lack the flow sometimes, and maybe in course of writing, some of you were having challenges related to speed. So I thought maybe that will compensate. And my dictating, and there are some very good fellows here who will write it and share it on the group. ठीक है? अरे करोगे कि नहीं करोगे शेयर? कर देंगे ये लोग, अच्छे लोग हैं. They will share it, Vanshika, don't worry. Chitta predominantly by Sattva, so are the Rajat Tamas less dominant. So in Chit, Sattva is more dominant. So body is Prakriti, and Prakriti can be prone to disease, and it doesn't affect the consciousness at all. Okay.
Reflection is totally dependent on its object, like whatever. Then how these reflections are acting on the table? Not like Purusha is not doing anything. Then these reflections are totally dependent.
So actually, you have to understand this is an analogy. This is not the exact thing. This is the analogy to explain a concept which cannot be explained. So Purush is the consciousness, pure consciousness. And that consciousness, when gets reflected, the reflection also is conscious, not as conscious as Purush. Just like light. So on this earth, we get light. Is it as bright as the sun? No. But the moment the earth gets light, everything starts getting illuminated. We see things. Similarly, when the consciousness hits on Chit, when the consciousness is illuminated in Chit, Chit also becomes illuminated, and all the effects that are happening are getting through with that illumination of consciousness. So this consciousness, which is the reflected one, it feels I am looking at things through Chit. I am feeling the pain through Chit. I am the one taking decisions. This is consciousness. And only because Chit is able to do it because it is conscious. Only. But still, it is only a reflection. The real thing is Purush. It is confusing. And it is confusing from the start itself. I told you, Sankhya have been confused. They are not able to explain how the Purush and Swapadik Purush are properly related. Because the moment you call something as reflection, you demote it to a very demeaning position. You take the independence out of it. But exactly how this reflection is there and where it goes, unexplained. All this will become absolutely corrected and clear in Vedanta. So whatever problems we are having in Sankhya, Shankaracharya will identify those areas, change it, and make it much better as a philosophy. He will remove this Prakriti Purush. He will say only one thing, Brahma. ये सारी confusion ही तो इसलिए ना, because there is dualism. If you remove dualism, things will become easier to explain. Ma'am, simply it is Param Brahm with which other Brahm wants to meet. Arpita, this is your earlier preconceived notion. We should not include our own notions in philosophy. There is no talk of Param Brahm, is it? Have I ever told in yoga or Sankhya anything related to Param Brahm or anything? No. We will not talk in such terms, and we will never ever write. Mahat and Chit both are same, but difference is that in Chit, Sattva is more dominant, but not such criteria in Mahat. No. In Mahat also Sattva is predominant. It's the same, just the nomenclature is different. So Ahankar and Mahat together become Chit. Clear? It's just the nomenclature, nothing else. Okay, fine. Right. In yoga philosophy, bondage means reflection of Purush reflection of Purush, that is Swapadhik Purush. That is Swapadhik Purush. Coming under ignorance. Coming under ignorance. And starts behaving in this material world, or starts acting in this material world with the notion of I, with the notion of I or ego. Full stop. Practice of yoga is the sure means of attaining. Practice of yoga is the sure means of attaining Vivek Gyan or discriminative knowledge. Vivek Gyan or discriminative knowledge to attain liberation. To attain liberation. Note, yoga practices have been identified or recognized. Yoga practices have been recognized by Upanishads, Smritis and Puranas. Recognized by Upanishads, Smritis and Puranas. Even other schools accept that if mind is impure, and unsettled, one cannot understand philosophy and religion. If the mind is impure and unsettled, then one cannot understand philosophy or religion. And yoga provides a practical guide. Yoga provides a practical guide of self-purification. Self-purification. In bracket write both body and mind. Both body and mind. Body and mind. Bondage means Purush wrongly identifies with changing states of Chit. नहीं, note नहीं. Next paragraph है ये. In bondage, क्या लिखवाया मैंने? हाँ, bond जो भी लिखना है. In bondage, Purush wrongly identifies with changing states. Wrongly identifies with changing states of Chit. Changing states of Chit. Just as reflections on water, yeah, waves, reflections on waves appear to dance और changing, मतलब कभी डांस करती है, कभी रिपल में आ जाती है ना? Appear to dance or appear to change, while the real moon is stable. While the real moon is stable. Full stop. Similarly, Purush is neutral, unchanging, perfect witness, unchanging, neutral, perfect witness. While the reflected consciousness, while the reflected consciousness appear to undergo modifications, because of its association with chit, because of its association with chit. या ब्रैकेट में लिख लो प्रकृति, प्रकृति. नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ. ये बात समझ में आ गई है? श्योर? Read it once more if you want. I give you 1 minute. Read it once more so that you don't have any confusion. Fine? Absolutely clear? Next heading. चित्त. अब ये हमारे जो नोट्स हैं इसमें भी आ जाएगा. चित्त भूमि करें या पहले चित्त वृत्तिज करें? चित्त भूमि करेंगे? चलो चित्त भूमि कर लो फिर. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग चित्त भूमिज. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग चित्त भूमिज. Chit is the evolute of Prakriti. Chit is the evolute of Prakriti. And only physical medium for manifestation of spirit. Only physical medium for manifestation of spirit. There are 5 stages of chit. 5 stages or states of chit or chitta bhumi or chitta bhumi. Come to this. Can you see this chart? Very interesting. So our chit or our states of consciousness, how many states of consciousness do we have? So one state of consciousness that we have is known as mudh. Mudh means which is more dominated by tamas, because 3 gunas to hai na. So our chit is also prakriti, made up of 3 gunas. In this chit, one or the other gun will dominate at some other time, and when the tamas gets dominated, that stage is known as mudh. And what are tamasic qualities? How will your consciousness be acting? Lethargic, sleepy. So whenever yourself, जब कभी आप ऐसा बोलते हो, कुछ करने का मन नहीं कर रहा यार, I don't want to do anything, nothing. So this means you are in which conscious state? Mudh. That time your chit is in the state of mudh, and the features are lethargic, depressed, unwilling to do anything, not finding interest in anything, lazy, procrastinating, all the negative things यहाँ पे लिखा भी होगा. हाँ. Symptoms are sleep, delusion, fear, laziness. Causes are lust, anger, greed and infatuation. Inclination क्या करने का करता है? I don't want to work hard and get through. Let's cheat. Easy way out? Vice. So it is the lowest class of conscious state. So whenever you are feeling like this, you must identify in which conscious state you are in. Second is shift. Shift is the distracted one. Distracted. Here, what will dominate? Rajas, activity. And in this state, what will be your thought process? ये भी कर लेते हैं, ये भी कर लेते हैं, ये भी कर लेते हैं. Let us study for 10 hours, then watch movie, then go out, then come back again and revise, and then I will do this. I want to clear UPSC also, at the same time want to paint also, I want to be a YouTuber also, I want to be a this also, that also. Distracted. Activity. But is this activity directed? If you want to be a civil servant, why do you want to paint now? You can paint later on. Then someone will actually buy it. Right now you will paint, waste money and time. I'm not saying painting is bad, but understanding the activity is there, but it is directionless, undirected. So what kind of things you will feel? Pain, worry. Pain in the sense, I want it very bad. The constant thing that's going on into your mind is, this is painful, no? Constant feeling of lacking something. A constant lack, a constant desire, worry, fickle-mindedness, and selfish actions. I will not give this to my friends. I will not share my notes. I will not do this. Someone is in pain, so what? You know, I want to. So this kind of action means in which state you are in? Shift. And in this you become more attached, or you become more hateful, or there is selfishness, more and more selfishness. Here there can be virtue and vice both. You can be a little bit virtuous, but also vice. Vice means bura. So some activities can be good also. So there are people, how many of you want to work with an NGO? Dekho, activity. So activity also brings some positive things, virtues. Civil servant ban jao abhi ke liye. Third is vikshipt. Vikshipt is partially concentrated. Here it is sattva mixed with rajas and tamas. Now in this there is a little good things that start. So these people who are in vikshipt, they start gaining knowledge. They start to learn more. So people who are who start becoming spiritual, or who start gaining knowledge about things, who start becoming reading more. So, okay, I don't know. Let us read more. Let us do this. Let us try this, but in a very directed manner. So currently your aim is, whatever is your aim, if you are directed towards it, and with this direction, you are not restless, you are planning for it. This means you are in which state? विक्षिप्त. दोबारा बोलो बेटा. विक्षिप्त. विक्षिप्त. ठीक है? हाँ. In this, there will be good virtues coming up. देयर विल बी जॉय, पेशेंस, बट ये सब इसे याद करने की जरूरत नहीं, इतना लंबा कभी आता नहीं है ना, बट अच्छा लगता है पढ़ने में, तो मैंने दे दिया so that you people can understand yourself better. So here there is knowledge, virtue, dispassion, spiritual prosperity. When you start becoming spiritual, you are actually entering into vikshipt state of mind or state of consciousness. So maybe currently you all are in this state, vikshipt. मतलब जब तक philosophy class में रहते हो उतनी देर तक है ना विक्षिप्त. सेल्फलेस एक्शन होगा, नॉट सेल्फिश, सेल्फलेस. वो ऊपर से कॉपी हो गया होगा. सेल्फलेस एक्शन, नॉट सेल्फिश, सेल्फलेस एक्शन. एस्पिरेंट्स के लिए ये, नॉट द सीरीज, स्पिरिचुअल एस्पिरेंट्स. अच्छा हाँ, so on 27 there is this हाँ सब गूगल है यहाँ पे. Moment I start speaking something you already know. So on 27 there is an event in Hindu college. I am being invited and my students are invited with me. It's on aspirant series itself. So Sandeep भैया जो है ना उसमें, what is the name? Ahuja. असली नाम भी संदीप ही है, जो भी है वो आ रहे हैं, है ना. हाँ, so I will be there, he will be there and the Lalon Top anchor जो है हमारे सौरभ द्विवेदी वो भी रहेंगे. He will interview us. So if you people want to come, you can come to Hindu College. मुझे नहीं पता, वो लोग भेजेंगे. हाँ, सन्नी हिंदूजा, नॉट आहूजा, हिंदूजा. क्या वो बताएंगे, वो बताएंगे. उन्होंने मुझे बोला आपके सारे स्टूडेंट्स इनवाइटेड हैं. मैंने कहा ओके. तो मैं बता दूंगी. आज उसका पार्ट 2 आया है. आ गया. हाँ. इन लोगों ने मेरा भी एक छोटा सा कुछ रिकॉर्ड किया है. एस्पिरेंट में मेरा भी कुछ छोटा सा एक रिकॉर्ड किया है, लेकिन मैं फोटोज ही नहीं दे पाई अभी तक. आज जाके कोशिश करती हूँ, शायद मैं दे दूं. कितना फेमस हो गया ये. You all know about it. All of you. बहुत बढ़िया. Okay, come back. Fourth is ekagra. Ekagra means one pointed concentration. एक आग्रह, only one आग्रह, one pointed concentration. Here it is pure sattva, but the sattva is not stable enough. Pure sattva, but not stable enough. Here you start focusing on one thing. And this concentration is not very long enough. It's temporarily you are able to focus. So temporarily you are able to study for 1 hour, 2 hours, but not for long hours. But you are able to sit and study. You are able to sit and learn these content. If this is the state, then you are in the position or in the conscious state of ekagra. Here there is dispassion. You are unattached. So till the time you are reading, you are not worried about other things. You are able to concentrate, but that concentration is not long enough. Short periods of consciousness or focus. And this is the lower step of samadhi. Here the samadhi you get, we will write all of this, but here the samadhi you get is sampragyata. बाद में लिखा जाएगा, चाहो तो लिख लो यहाँ पे। इस पोजीशन में, इस स्टेट पे, इस कॉन्शियस स्टेट में, इन दिस कॉन्शियस स्टेट यू गेट संप्रज्ञता समाधि. संप्रज्ञता मीन्स there is focus but not complete focus. There is focus but not complete focus. It breaks. So like yogis have this kind of focus. So when you hear that yogi has been sitting up for 5 hours and meditating, ekagra, for a particular duration they are able to sit and meditate, but that meditation is not uninterrupted, it gets interrupted naturally. Next state, only when you are ekagra you can enter the next stage, that is the niruddh. Niruddh means controlled or restrained. Here all vrittis are restrained. वहां पे एकाग्र में एक वृत्ति तो थी कम से कम, like you were either concentrating on your breath or you were concentrating on a dot or maybe concentrating on some god. There was at least one thing which was changing or modifying the chit, but in niruddh there is क्या हुआ, कुछ आवाज आई क्या? अच्छा मेट्रो की थी, ओके हाँ अच्छा ठीक है छोड़ो. Restraint, ठीक है. So here all vrittis or all modifications are restrained. Here what happens, जब सारी चीजें restrain हो जाएंगी, what will happen? The ideal ground for liberation. Here you will have a sampragyata samadhi. A sampragyata samadhi means no ripples, nothing. For prolonged periods of time, one can meditate at will. So the sannyasi sits directly into samadhi and for long uninterrupted periods. जब वो चाहेंगे तब वो खुद अपनी समाधि एंड करेंगे. The samadhi doesn't get ended on its own. It's their own will. And this happens only when the chit is completely free of modifications. And the moment chit becomes completely free of modification, one attains liberation. Because the moment chit is calm, the moment chit is stable, you can see, oh, chit is also evolute of prakriti. Who am I? I am only the pure consciousness, which is a reflected consciousness of Purush. You realize your own nature, that it's not I who was getting hurt. It was not I who was feeling this pain. It was not I who was doing anything. It was this chit, the reflections on chit. Who was knowing the reflections or the modification of chit? I am beyond all this. I am beyond birth and death. I am beyond space and time. And the moment you realize yourself like this, you become liberated. Jivan Mukt. And after your prarabdha karma also ends, you attain Videha Mukti.
Again, various aspects, for example, for some time they have control the breath, but they also need to control the senses. So they have to.
No, it's more like it's a stepwise thing. है ना? We will see. अभी हम जब 8 steps पढ़ेंगे ना, then we will see how they will move from gross to subtle. But again, in ekagra, something will be required. Like if you cannot directly make your chit free or stable, because chit is not in a habit. Like close your eyes. Close your eyes. नींद आ जाएगी? तुम कौन सी स्टेट में हो? So if you close your eyes, even if you start meditating, it will not be something or the other will go on. something or the other. बराबर वाला क्या कर रहा है? What is the person next to me doing? Oh, I don't know why ma'am is making us meditate. Why doesn't she teach? You know, or anything will keep on going in your mind. It will not be free. So first, to make it stable, you have to focus on something, one particular thing, to make it more focused. And this focus on one thing, whether it is gross or then it is subtle, it is a process we will do. And in this process, this is ekagra. But when you remove even this one thing, when you are not focusing on anything, just there is nothing on chit, no modification. You are looking at pure consciousness in connection with chit, with no modification. Only then you are able to see. Imagine it like the chit is lying at the floor of water. And only when the water is calm, you will be able to see the chit. It has to be absolutely calm. Fine? It's controlled, but still there is one modification. That's why I told you, ek agraha. At least one thing is there. So you are withdrawing from all other. Kabir will come back to dharan, hai na? When we will come back to dharan, you will understand what we are talking about. Clear? So how many chit bhumis are there? 5. And on this chit bhumis, various states or stages, there are various vrittis. Vrittis means modifications. So what are the 5 modifications? First one is praman. Second is viparyay. Third is vikalp. Fourth is nidra. Fifth is smriti. Praman. Let us understand praman. What is praman? अच्छा इसमें बनाया नहीं हुआ है क्या? लिख लो. लिखवा देती हूँ मैं. ये बना लोगे चार्ट? है ना? Leave space so that you can make in your own copies. Now write chitta vrittis. Chitta vritti. When chit is modified into any kind of object or cognitive mental state there is chit vritti or modification of chit. Modification of chit. This modification, this leads to appearance of kaleshas, or afflictions. Kaleshas or afflictions. Kaleshas or afflictions. Next point. Chit is the product of Prakriti. Predominated by Sattva. Having the power of manifestation. full stop. Due to its subtleness, due to its subtleness, even though it is unconscious, even though it is unconscious, even though it is unconscious, ब्रैकेट में डाल दो even though it is unconscious को. हमने पहली लाइन क्या लिखी है?
Having a part of manifestation its subtleness, even though it is unconscious.
Due to its subtleness, due to its subtleness, it has the power, it has the power to reflect self. It has the power to reflect self. Reflect self and become apparently conscious and intelligent. Become apparently मतलब ऊपर ऊपर से, superficially. Become apparently conscious and intelligent. So Chit is unconscious, but it appears to be conscious because of reflection of self. Simple. Read this line again. It has to be very clear. ठीक है? This apparent, next line, next point. This apparently conscious Chit, this apparently conscious Chit is related to any object through Manas. Is related to any object through Manas. When sense organs, full stop, when sense organs come in contact with objects of the world, when sense organs come in contact with the objects of the world, Man transfers the impressions, leading to the modification of Chit, corresponding to the form of object, In other words, Chit assumes the shape of object, or for shape ni form. Chit assumes the form of object. Note. Self undergoes no change. Self undergoes no change or modification. And it is only due to its reflection, and it is only due to its reflection in the changing states, of Chit. It is only due to its reflection in the changing states of Chit that self appears to be subject to changes. Just like reflections of moon appear to be moving. Just like reflections of moon appear to be moving while the moon is stable. While the moon is stable. Next point, there are 5 kinds of चित्तवृत्तिस. There are 5 kinds of चित्तवृत्तिस. ये पहली बात समझ में आ गई? So the moment there is an object, so supposedly you are looking at a beautiful painting. Your man transfers the impression to chit. So chit is nothing but your attention basically. So your attention or your chit assumes the shape of that particular thing you are viewing. Basically, whatever you are looking at, hearing at, whatever you are giving attention to, your chit is that thing. Chit is nothing, your attention. Wherever you put your attention, you are modifying, your chit is getting modified in that shape. If you are looking at painting, your chit is like assuming the shape of painting. You are looking at horror movie, same shape. You are looking at anything and everything. You are hearing something very loud. Chit becomes that. So basically your chit gets modified continuously wherever you are. So how, at what rapid pace it is getting modified? Very rapid pace. Nanosecond. Sometimes you are happy, then you are okay, then supposedly you saw something, you know, every time, everything, you are feeling sad, you are feeling this, you are looking at this, you are looking at that, you are hearing. How many sensations are being bombarded on you? Many. And with each sensation, there is some kind of modification on chit. So chit is getting modified continuously. So chit and man are 2 separate things according to yoga philosophy. You know, mind तो नीचे आया था evolute में, you remember? तो ahankar, mahat and ahankar together becomes chit. This mind is connected to chit. Fine? मैं क्या बता रही थी, मैं भूल गई. So basically, this chit gets modified. And in what manner it gets modified? There are 5 manners. First is praman. Praman means right knowledge. According to Sankhya philosophy, how many ways you can get right knowledge? Perception, inference, and verbal testimony. There are 3 ways you can get right knowledge. So this means if you are perceiving something, your chit is getting modified. If you are making an inference, chit is getting modified. And even if you are reading something, spiritual text you are reading, again a modification. So even though you are getting right knowledge, there is still modification of chit. Second is viparyaya. Viparyaya is doubt, uncertainty, wrong knowledge. ये सारी चीजें पहले लिख लें हम लोग, एक एक करके लिखते जाते हैं, क्योंकि मैं बस समझा दूंगी उसके बाद फिर से लिखना ही पड़ेगा. Modification of chit are of 5 kinds. Number 1, praman. Number 1, praman. It is of 3 types. It is of 3 types. Number 1, perception. Number 2, inference. Number 3, verbal testimony. According to Sankhya and Yoga, even true cognition मतलब right knowledge, even true cognition leads to chitta vrittis. Second is viparyay. Second is viparyay. Wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge. That is wrong knowledge. That is knowledge of object. Knowledge of object as they are not. Knowledge of objects as they are not. जैसे वो नहीं है वैसे वैसे की knowledge विपर्याय. इसके अंदर A doubt. A doubt. Second uncertainty. Second is uncertainty. Viparya, wrong knowledge. Third is vikalp. Third is vikalp. Mere verbal idea. Vikalp is mere verbal idea with no correspondence to facts. Mere verbal idea with no correspondence to facts. Basically, when you differentiate between two things, but they are not different. Like the examples Yoga philosophy has given. Chao to likh lo example. Rahu's head. We call Rahu's head. But Rahu is only a head. You know, na, in mythology. Rahu Ketu. Rahu was the head, Ketu was the body. So when you call something as Rahu's head, there is no difference between Rahu and head because it's only a head. Likh lo. So vikalp kya hai? When you are talking something as Rahu's head, this is you are just verbally confusing things. Words like Rahu's head, but there is no distinction between Rahu and head. Only distinction is being created by words. Only distinction is being created by words. Another example, chaho to likh lo, consciousness of soul. Consciousness of soul. But actually soul means it's not off, it's the same thing. It's only verbal thing you are creating. और भी करा जा सकता है. Chocolate mountain, unicorn. There is nothing as unicorn. All of these things are verbal. Viparya, wrong knowledge. Things which are not like that. Then sleep. Nidra. Sleep means nidra. It is the absence of, it is the absence of knowledge. It is the absence of knowledge. But experience of this absence is still there. But experience of this absence is still there. Example, when a person says, I slept well, or I had a dreamless sleep, or I had a dreamless sleep. This means A person was aware. A person was aware of that state. Person was aware of that state. Thereby, there was modification of chit. Therefore, there is modification of chit. So, nidra is again a kind of a chitta vritti or modification of chit. How do we know? You will say, no, nidra ke andar to hum so jate hain. We sleep. There is no modification. Is it? This is explained by Yoga. When we say we were having dreams, or we were not having dreams, or we were sleeping well, this means we were aware of what was going on. There is some kind of experience that was going on, even though we were not getting the knowledge, but still the awareness was on. This means there was some kind of vritti or modification of chit that was going on. So, generally people remember, you know, so if you have dreams, do you remember your dreams? This means that you were aware of that state. Even in that dreamless state, there are various levels. Now psychology proves there are various levels of consciousness that are open. Actually, when you are sleeping, you are not silent. Your mind is not silent, rather very active. It's very active. Yes. Huh? Yes. Your memories are getting connected. Your, thought process is being streamlined. Yes. If you do not take good amount of sleep, your mental processes start to get hampered. Deranged hone lagti hain. Your learning ability becomes less. Your reasoning ability becomes less. ये सारी चीजें why? Because sleep is a very active state when all the repair work and everything is happening. So don't sacrifice it too much. Until and unless you have that, what do you say? Oh, not insomnia. You have that yogic practice. So some people who meditate, they can work with less sleep. Okay, fine. So sleep ho gaya. Last kya reh gaya? Smriti. Smriti is memory. Smriti is memory. When a person remembers the past, remembers the past, this is also a kind of a chitta vritti. Daydreaming, past experiences को याद करना, all of this is daydreaming. किसमें आ जाएगा? Daydreaming, not sleeping. विपर्याय, हाँ? And ये क्या कहते हैं? हमारा ये किसमें आ जाएगा? मेमोरी में. मेमोरी में पास्ट को एक्सपीरियंस वापस से. When I came first in my class, I was really happy. What is this? Your attention is in some past experience? Memory. So what 5 kinds of modification yoga school has accepted? बताओ साहिल. मैंने कहा बताओ साहिल. सब साहिल हो. बताओ सारे. अच्छा देखो कितने स्मार्ट हैं, कितने स्मार्ट हैं. हाँ, बताओ. स्मृति. Fine. How many type of praman? Okay, fine. ठीक है, 5 types of vrittis happen, and these 5 type of vrittis lead to 5 types of kaleshas. Next page. Lead to, finish होगा ये योग आज. क्यों, क्या प्रॉब्लम है? किसी को कहीं जाना है? भूख लगी है? बिस्किट ले आओ. किस किस को भूख लगी है? जाओ, है, सबको एक एक बिस्किट खिलाओ. चलो दो दो. अरे 2 से भूख मिट जाती है. You know how much poverty is there in our country? Is there any particular order for 5 states of Chit, or we can start it from any? So these are various 5 states. There is no particular order, but yes, you know, if you see, there is an order between Ekagra and Nirudh. Fine, there is an order in those 2 at least. All else will keep changing. So there are 5 types of kaleshas. There are kaleshas like Rag. Rag is attachment. Rag Dvesh. Suna hi hoga? Rag Dvesh. What is Rag? Attachment. So the things you are attached with, people you are attached with, feelings you are attached with, create bondage. तुम लोग distracted क्यों हो गए हो? आ जाएंगे बिस्किट. Focus. Focus. Fine. So 5 types of kaleshas. First is attachment. Second is dvesh, averseness. Things you hate, things you avoid, things you don't like. Averseness towards anything. Third is ego. Ego means these people are not. हाँ, क्या हुआ? तभी तो बिस्किट खिला रहे हैं. हाँ. हाँ, you never look at time when you are studying. I'm not just saying here, anywhere. Anywhere. ये बंद कैसे होता है? मुझे तो लगा यहीं से बंद होता है. लो, ठीक है, अब नो टाइम. हाँ, so next is, third is asmita or ego. The ego creates big problems. I have already told you. Third is ego. Fourth is abhinivesh. Abhinivesh means fear of losing your life, clingingness to life. We all are afraid of death. This fear is constantly there. And of course, the root cause of all these kaleshas is the root kalesha, that is avidya or ignorance. So 5 kind of afflictions or kaleshas are there. What are those? Rag, dvesh, asmita, abhinivesh, and avidya. 5 kinds of kaleshas or afflictions. And these afflictions arise why? Because there is modification or chitta vritti. You get right knowledge about something. This right knowledge can be pleasurable or even painful also. Hai na? Right knowledge, like you saw a list, result list. Your roll number was there and you were selected. Right knowledge? Rag. You became very happy. In the list, you read your roll number wrong. You read it was there, but it was not there. What is this? Viparyay. And because of Viparyay, you became happy. You informed everybody. And then you read it again. What happened? Huh? So what kind of kalesha will arise in your heart? Dvesh. Abhinivesh also. As well as asmita, ego. Your ego will get hurt. All of these. So all the vrittis will lead to some kind of kalesha. Fine? वो मुझे दिए भी नहीं ले गया. Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, fine, right. Because of chitta vrittis, because of chitta vrittis, self appears to be afflicted with 5 kinds of kaleshas or afflictions. Kaleshas or afflictions or sufferings. एक ही बात है. 5 kinds of kaleshas, afflictions or suffering. Number 1, ignorance or avidya. Number 1, ignorance or avidya. It is the foundation of all other kaleshas. It is the foundation of all other kaleshas. Full stop. It is the wrong knowledge. It is the wrong knowledge or identification of non-self as self. Identification of non-self as self. In bracket you may write Prakriti as self. It is the wrong knowledge of non-eternal as eternal. Non-eternal as eternal. You feel the relations, the things will exist forever. But will they exist forever? The friend, the brother, the sister, you are not sisters, not brothers. उनके लिए नहीं करते हो आजकल तुम लोग. हाँ, मतलब this means that whatever you are, feelings you are having, you feel they will be eternal, but they are actually temporary, non-eternal. The person you are feeling, आज तो इस पे मर जाएंगे. The feeling is, at that time it appears it is a permanent feeling, but after some time it will be gone. So those feelings, are they eternal? They are non-eternal. Okay, fine. Second is egoism or asmita. Second is egoism or asmita. It is the false conception of identity. It is the false conception of identity. False conception of identity. That is I and mine. That is I or mine. Here, self what do you say? It here self assumes the wrong notion of identity with buddhi or mind. Assumes the wrong notion of identity with buddhi or mind. You become sad if your ego is hurt. Example, na? You become sad if your ego is hurt. Whatever you do for your ego. Why do you want to become civil servants? Ego. Satisfaction of ego. Okay, third, rag. Third is rag. It is acute thirst for worldly pleasures. It is acute thirst of worldly pleasures. Desire, acute thirst. Acute, तीव्र, thirst, प्यास for worldly pleasures. It is the attachment to worldly objects. It is the attachment to worldly objects. Fourth is aversion or dvesh. Aversion, A-V-E-R-S-I-O-N. Aversion or dvesh. Aversion or dvesh towards pain. Towards pain. Nobody wants pain. Everybody wants dvesh. Dvesh also means jealousy. It is also means anger. All the negative emotions are coming under dvesh. Anger, jealousy, envy. Last is abhinivesh, fear of death. Fear of death. Next, right. How can one remove kaleshas or sufferings? How can one remove kaleshas or suffering? According to yoga philosophy, afflictions can be removed. Afflictions can be removed only by getting true knowledge, that is discriminative knowledge between Purush and Prakriti, comma, self and non-self. Purush and Prakriti, comma, self and non-self, comma, eternal and non-eternal, comma, permanent and temporary, comma, self and body, man, senses, etc. Self and body, man, senses, etc. So we have to discriminate between what and what? Purush and Prakriti. Self and all the evolutes of Prakriti, that is body, man, senses. Eternal and non-eternal. Permanent and temporary. If you discriminate between this, what happens? Liberation. So you will not become sad because of all these things, external objects. Therefore, one must practice Ashtanga Yoga. Therefore, one must practice Ashtanga Yoga. to free one's chit, to free one's chit from all modifications, thereby realizing its true nature, that is pure consciousness, that is pure consciousness. That is pure consciousness. There are two requirements. There are two requirements. Number one, abhyas, continued endeavor. Abhyas, continued endeavor. Second, dispassion. 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 So you have to follow this Ashtanga Yoga continuously. ऐसा नहीं आज किया कल छोड़ दिया. And dispassion basically वैराग्य. चाहो तो लिख लो ब्रैकेट में वैराग्य. वैराग्य. क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ? वैराग्य. तो अब हमारा बस आखिरी स्टेप बचता है, क्या है? अष्टांग योग. अष्टांग योग बहुत सिंपल है. अष्टांग योग क्या हुआ? अष्टांग योग में क्या है? 8 steps. First is यम, नियम, आसन, प्राणायाम, प्रत्याहार, धारण, ध्यान, समाधि. 8 steps, very simple. First is yam. Yam means, इसमें लिखा हुआ है क्या? मैंने इतने इंटेलिजेंट बच्चे तो नहीं है मेरे. अच्छा लिखा हुआ ये सब कुछ. वेरी गुड. So first is yam. Yam basically restrains. So why is yoga school talking about yam or all these 5 good things that one has to follow? Ahimsa, aste, satya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. Panchratan हमने पढ़े थे ना? 5 Mahavrats of Jainism. The same are also in Buddhism. Every religion will talk about them. So why has yoga included? Ultimate, their aim is only to discriminate between Purush and Prakriti. Why they want us to be ethical? चित्त को शांत करने के लिए. So now, if you are embroiled in, I have the results, but okay. If you are just like this, if your mind is embroiled in results, will you be able to focus on yoga? No. Just like this. किस किस को रिजल्ट जानना है पहले? चलो जल्दी से बता देते हैं. ऑफलाइन कॉपीज भी दे देंगे क्या? So online students, we have online students, your evaluated copy will be sent on email or WhatsApp after class. There are 49 people who gave test. And topper is, इन्होंने ऐसे अच्छा, first is Simran. Simran, you have topped with 41.5 marks. Second is Riya Sharma with 41 marks. And there is a tie in third rank, that is Mayank Chaudhary and Vanshika Mohan, 40 marks. Very good. है ना? Apart from that, all the other people who have honorable mentions are Yashasvi with 39.5. This also happens in UPSC, you know. Have you heard people say आधा marks से, एक marks से, you know? So each marks is important. But don't worry if your marks are less also, because it is a test which is there to prepare you for your main exam. Whatever things you have done wrong, just improve on that. If there are no tests, we all feel we are very perfect and we are writing very good. It is only when someone starts comparing our answers with others, our performance with others, that we realize that we have to improve. None of you were known to the examiners. Any brother, sister relations here? I don't check copies because I can become biased with because I know your names, I know you people. So copies are being checked by neutral people who don't know you. This means you have to impress them by only one way. Your answer copies. Content, writing, articulation, structure, formatting, structuring, everything you have to take care. Offline students, it is first position is with Parth. First position, 41 marks. Second is Sanjana Meena, 40.5. And then Bharat Rai, 35. Third. Very good. Those students who submitted copies after test day will not be included in merit list. Offline people. Students can collect their copies at reception after the class. ठीक है? Okay, fine. बाकी सब मार्क्स अपने अपनी कॉपीज में देख लें. अब करें?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, online student 23rd submitted copy checked 23rd October. Ask the coordinator. Okay. So why YUM is required? YUM is required because a kind of ethical behavior also calms your mind. Because if you are lying, you have to remember what lie you have told to what other person. इसको कुछ और बोला होगा, उसको कुछ और बोला होगा. Only then that is a lie. This means you will have to remember. If you have to remember, your chit, will it be silent? No. If you have done something wrong, the guilt that is being there, will it allow you to be silent? No. This means that one has to follow good ethical conduct before you can even start practicing yoga. The first condition is YUM. YUM has 5 principles or vows that you have to follow. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. The same of Jainism. Fine. Then second is Niyam. Niyam means observations. You have to observe certain purifications in yourself. Certain purifications. Certain principles that you have to follow. Like first principle is Sauch. और इसकी spelling है SAUCA. Sauch. Sauch means purification of body and mind. If आप नहाए नहीं हो 15 दिन से, 1 महीने से, what will happen? What will happen? बदबू तो okay, but itching भी होगी. And if you are itching yourself, if you are smelling bad, will you be able to concentrate? No. This means your body has to be purified. You should take bath, clean clothes, then your mind should also be purified. You should have pure thoughts, pure positive thoughts. You are sitting for meditation and you're like, कुछ नहीं है यार इस दुनिया में, सब बेकार है, सब खराब. हाँ? So what is this? Negative thoughts. So can you start your meditative journey with negative thoughts? No. Your mind should be purified. Pure thoughts. Pure positive thoughts should be there. So Soch means purity of both body and thoughts. Body and mind. First principle. Second is Santosh. Santosh means contentment. We will give you proper printed notes for this, hai na? For all the explanation. Just understand here. Santosh means contentment. If you are not Santoshi by nature, Santoshi means if you are not content by nature, what will happen? Dissatisfaction, desiring for more and more. And when you are desiring for more and more, can you meditate? Can you start your spiritual journey? No. This means second quality that you have to observe or follow is contentment. Whatever I have enough. The basic contentment should be there. Santosh. Whatever parents I have got, fine. Whatever, yes. Whatever teacher you have got, fine. You should be content. Whatever I have got, content with that. Hai na? Husband, wife, all of these things are contentment is the prerequisite. Third is tapas. Tapas means tapasya. Too cold, mar gaya, you know, itni sardi ho gayi, jam gaye. All of these things you people say. So winter comes, people say, oh, we have frozen. Things are so bad. A little bit of heat and they start cribbing about hotness. Where is the AC? There is no AC. What is this? Can you meditate if you have this attitude? No. Third is tapas. Once you have santosh, you also will have to tolerate, not with dissatisfaction, but with contentment, satisfaction. It's okay. If why can't I, tolerate a little bit of heat? Why can't I tolerate a little bit of hunger? Why can't I tolerate a little bit of thirst? So that tapasya, attitude of tapasya, penance should be there. If you are hungry, it's okay. How many of you do vrat? And when you do vrat, do you look at food and say, kal khayenge? Because if you are doing like that, that's not tapasya. Tapasya means first you should have santosh. Only then you can start with tapasya. And in tapasya, you should not be desiring or cribbing the other thing. Okay. Fourth is swadhyay. Swadhyay means study. Study the scriptures. Understand about philosophy. Understand about all these things. Because once you have started doing tapasya, once your body is getting a little more trained, disciplined towards process of yoga, you need to have commensurate thoughts, commensurate understanding of principles. It's not just important vrat kar liya. Next important thing is your ideas or your thoughts should also be commensurate with the discipline. Or padho, अच्छी books padho, spiritual books padho, and according to yoga philosophy, Patanjali Yoga Sutra padho. Understand more about Prakriti, understand more about Purush, and how the chit gets affected. Understanding will make you more inclined towards following the process. Fifth is Ishwar Paridhanta. Ishwar Paridhanta means surrendering to God. Because it's a theistic school, remember? It believes in God. Therefore, they say that one should surrender to God. Because only when you surrender, you can start the other processes. Till the time you have not surrendered yourself, you are not going to discipline, because there will always be doubt. But the moment you surrender, doubts are gone. So if you surrender to your God, I will study honestly, but my selection and non-selection is in the hands of God. I will study because I want to study, and I will be honest with myself, but I will not care about selection and non-selection. Because if I will be honest, God will see and give me the selection. Ishwar Paridhanta. You have surrendered to the Almighty. Fine. And the moment you have followed these 5 niyams or observances, you become eligible to do asana. Now, people don't follow yam and niyam, directly jump onto what kind? All kinds of asanas. Vajrasan. What's your favorite asana? I knew. Shavasana. आप लोगों का favorite है Shavasana. You have to be very, there is a sequence to this whole 8-fold process. Before you enter or start to discipline your body with particular postures, you need to have that 2 upper yam and niyam. Okay. Then why is actually all these exercises and yoga required? लोग योगा का मतलब सिर्फ आसन समझते हैं, है ना? ज़्यादा प्राणायाम. People understand yoga means asana and pranayam. No, it's the complete thing. Popular things are these. Fine. So why is even physical postures exercise required? Only in a healthy body can a healthy mind reside. If your body is diseased, paining all over, will you be able to concentrate? First, you need to make your body, your nervous system, your muscles, bones sufficiently strong so that when you meditate for long hours, your body is not paining. है ना? आपने ध्यान लगाना शुरू किया, पैर ही अकड़ गए, है ना? पैरों में दर्द हो गया, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी नहीं है. मतलब फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी क्या, आपने ध्यान लगाया, अब ध्यान लग रहा था, but because of pain you could not continue. So this means your body needs to have that stamina and strength to undertake any kind of mental discipline for a long time. Therefore, postures are required. And certain postures are very important for meditation because it allows you to have certain kind of attention. So, when you are sitting in Padmasana, it's a different kind of attention you get. But whereas if you do some Tribhuj Asana, it requires a lot of mental strength plus physical strength, yes, to to calm your attention or to concentrate on your attention in that pose. So this means these all are again practices. Fine. Then is pranayam. Pranayam means concentrating or respiratory exercises. Anulom Vilom, Kapal Bhati. What are these? Respiratory exercises or respiratory yogas. Ramdev Baba has done immense noble cause by popularizing at least pranayam. है ना? I don't know if people used to do pranayam as fervently as after Patanjali came into this thing. So why is pranayam important? Because your breath is the pran vayu. If you are regulated, if you regulate your breath, you are better able to concentrate. Example, when you are angry, what increases? जब गुस्से में हो तो कैसे बात करते हो? मैं ना एकदम सांस तेज हो जाती है. When you are anxious, when you are under fear, what happens again? When somebody is lying, how do you detect changes in breath? This means if your mind is not calm, your breath is not regulated. And if you want to regulate your mind, reverse engineering, regulate your breath, it will calm your mind. So now regulation of breath is very important because there is a whole process: inhaling, holding, exhaling. And in this whole process, if you are a yogi, you will increase this span. Inhaling for a long time, keeping holding for a long time, and then exhaling for a long time. So this what it does, what it reduces your heart rate, it reduces your the changes that are happening. And after some time there are even phases where you can suspend your breathing. When you are meditating, there are yogis who can suspend their breathing also, because again this is also a kind of a modification. So pranayam, regulating and controlling the breath itself. Then is pratyahar. If your breath is regulated, your body is fit, then you start meditating. And when you meditate, you first start withdrawing your senses from external things. आप सब तरफ से ध्यान हटा के एक चीज पे लाने की कोशिश करने लगते हो, एक चीज पे. So the moment you are undertaking pratyahar, will you go to rock music? Will you go to Netflix? No. Why? You will not excite your senses. You are trying to withdraw from the external world. You will not see something exciting. You will try to calm it down. So withdrawal. If you want to meditate, you will have to withdraw from external world, external objects, external things, and try to get inside yourself. अपने अंदर ही अपनी ही सोच में मगन. प्रत्याहार, withdrawal from outside, and then you sit. ये प्रत्याहार तक क्या है हमारा? एक्सटर्नल डिसिप्लिन और एक्सटर्नल योग. ये सारी चीजें एक्सटर्नल है. लिख लो यहाँ पे एक्सटर्नल योग, एक्सटर्नल then धारण. धारण करना. धारण means to take only one thing to be concentrated. You take only one thing, and on that thing you start to focus. You start slowly, steadily focusing. So you will start with maybe something more gross, like maybe this fan, maybe something, a cow, or maybe an idol of God, है ना? भगवान की मूर्ति रखी है, आप बैठ गए, आपने कहा आप ध्यान लगाते. Very gross object, very big, but there is something that you put there before concentrating. धारण किया आपने किसी एक चीज को और फिर आपने किया ध्यान. जब आप ध्यान कर रहे हो, you are focusing on that one thing on a deeper level. करते 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 अब वो जो चीज है, remember Husserl, that thing separates from all its qualities. Now you are only focused on that thing. अब आपको उस चीज के बारे में वो aspects पता चलते हैं. You start learning those aspects about that thing which were hidden, which were not available normally. You get ultimate knowledge about that thing. Dhyan. And in dhyan, slowly and steadily, the chit becomes nearly calm, nearly calm. And the moment you enter samadhi, the chit becomes absolutely calm. And in samadhi, you are able to see clearly what is self and what is not self. You are clearly able to see yourself as only pure consciousness. And the moment you achieve this, moment you realize this, not one time, but maybe many times when you realize this for a long period of time, then you understand what is your true nature, pure consciousness. And after this, what happens? Liberation. ठीक है? प्रोसेस समझ में आ गया? लिखवा दूं क्या? कल लिखवा दूं? चलो ठीक है, कल कर. वैसे खत्म हो गया है ना? बट वन थिंग इज लेफ्ट, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ गॉड. Ma'am, can you please guide how to meditate? When I try to meditate, I'm not able to concentrate even after 10-15 minutes. Just the thoughts of Husserl, of bracketing things coming out in mind, but in real, nothing is bracketed. The biggest problem is Husserl is not bracketed. So, Pratibha, this is. So, the best way to meditate is, just sit. In the starting, you can follow some app. There are a lot of apps, which try to help you meditate, but nothing very tangible will be achieved with it, but it will start disciplining you. And I will teach you sometime. It's not something I can tell you in 1 minute. Meditation is a whole new science. We will do it sometime. If you people are willing, then I can even call someone who is people who are experts in meditation. I can also make it happen here. But लेकिन क्या होता है कि चस्का लग जाता है. People become it's again a very new kind of experience ना. So sometimes people के नहीं, आप meditation ही करा दो हमें. Is there a particular order of 5 states of chitta, or can we start from? There is no particular sequence, but yes, ekagrata and niruddha are there. हाँ, बंद कर दीजिए. बाय बाय बाय.